But all right, how about Oklahoma, Stephen? I'm fascinated to know where you go here.
Mike, I wrestled with this one too because I was going to have Oklahoma as a D, probably headed into the final month of the season. But I'm going to give Brent Venables a little bit of credit here. They kind of worked their way out of this, got to a bowl game by crushing Alabama. That win counts for something for me. So I'm going to go with a C minus. They had a rough time transitioning to the SEC, all the offensive issues, the injuries, things like that. It's some of that stuff's just unpredictable, random bad luck. So don't want to hold that against him. I will hold the Seth Luttrell hire against him. Did not work out. 2-6 in SEC play. Needed a crazy interception to beat Auburn. Interception return, and of course the blowout win over Alabama, which kind of bumped this from a D to a C minus for me.
Yeah, and I hate to say it this way, Stephen, but and I don't even know how you quantify this in your head. You're a smart guy. I think you'll figure it out. If Oklahoma's offense was as good as the defense this year, this is probably a playoff team, don't you think?
I could maybe get to them being certainly up in the top. I'm looking at their schedule. I mean, they would have lost probably to Texas,
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina, Tennessee. I mean, I could easily see them being a lot higher, like at 9-3, or I mean, maybe if you want to be like super optimistic, if they had like Dylan Gabriel's offense from last year, yeah,
Right.
I mean, I would say they'd be right there in the conversation because their defense was legitimately good enough this year. I know certainly some of the games like giving up 37 to LSU, 30 against Missouri is a little deceiving, but I mean, held Ole Miss to 26. So yeah, I would buy that.
Now the problem, Stephen, their offense is about as good as Kentucky's offense. I mean, it
Yeah,
was awful. It was dreadful. It was disgusting. But much like you, I would say that Alabama game kind of flipped the script a little bit and gave them extra credit here. I'm giving them a C minus because again, there was a lot that went wrong, and a lot of teams would have caved. And I still have my doubts on whether Brent Venables is the man for the job. But hell, I know after watching this team this year that he's a hell of a defense coordinator. So I think the defense is in excellent hands in Norman, but we he's got to figure out the offense. And I'm not over the moon on the OC hire. We'll see what they do at quarterback, but that's going to go a long, long way to figure out if Brent Venables is the man for the job. But I think we go into next year. I think we go into kind of unsettled ground, so to speak, in Norman.
I think it's well, I would say I hope it's not a hot take, but I do think he's inching closer to the hot seat. Like if you go 6-6 next year, I think you're probably starting to get into hot seat territory. I like the Ben Arbuckle hire. I do wonder where Oklahoma goes at quarterback because there's going to be a lot of competition for the Miller Moss, the Darian Minsas, some of the other guys that could enter the portal. So really, really important. I think Venables is great on defense, but you often see this like when defensive coordinators become head coaches, their biggest obstacle is finding the right OC hire. And that's still the biggest problem for Venables right now. Obviously, he nailed the Levy one. He's got to nail the next one here.